Yeah.
I just
So
remember
say your
people.
name. Say your name.
Bruce
and,
Bradford.
Okay.
And I owned the budget car rental at the time.
Okay.
I just remember people being in shock first, and then they were calm, and then the biggest thing was, how do I get home? How do I get back to my families? And the car rental industry as a whole tried to accommodate them by letting cars go one way, and there were people that hadn't met each other until that morning, shared the cost of a car to go to Miami, Florida. I need to get back to Miami. I need to get to Washington, D.C. I need to get to wherever. And they took a Suburban and put 4 families in they hadn't met till that minute and went back to D.C. So it was just where people came together and for a common cause, and that was to get home to their families.
I'm Brian Springer, the airport director at Gallatin Field. On the day of September 11th, I think, the concern that all of us had was what was going to happen next, and we were all working toward making sure that nothing worse was going to happen, but at the same time trying to deal with our own emotions about what did happen.
Okay. And where were you on September 11, 2001? What do you remember of that day?
I was at high school in my computer class, and I remember there was just a lot of commotion. I didn't really understand what was going on. I was homeschooled as well, and so I left my computer class and went home and was asking my mom what happened, and we were just turned on the television, and that was pretty much our school for the day. We just sat, and my mom explained everything that was going on, and I just remember sitting there crying, and at that time only one of the towers had been hit, and so we watched the other tower get hit, and it was pretty dramatic. I remember being really scared and just not really knowing what was going to happen at that point.
I'm Pamela Boyer. On 9/11, I just got off a mid-watch and I went to bed, and when my daughter called me, she was very excited, said, turn on the TV, and I did, and I was stunned. And the next year, I was recalled to active duty.
I remember going to work and was hearing about it, and I was working at Guardian Restoration at that point in time, and was hearing about it, and we was able to turn on television and saw some of the evidence that was going on, and basically it was more disbelief. And it was just being attacked like that. It's just amazing. I don't know if I was scared. I mean, it's too far away for me to be scared. It's just there's no tactical point to attacking Bozeman other than going in the heartland of Bozeman, but it is more of a disbelief, and it was definitely an act of terrorism because there was no military value to the target. So, and I guess you could say it's more devastated for the loss or the people who lost than anything else.
I vividly remember when I heard that the Twin Towers had been hit. I was out at a store and somebody said, go look at the TV, the towers have been hit in New York. But of even more personal concern for me was my brother worked right across from the Pentagon. And actually 2 of my brothers were in downtown Washington, D.C. when the Pentagon was hit. And couldn't get through to find out how they were. It took 8 hours before we could get a phone call through. My brothers were walking miles across the city because all of the public transportation in Washington, D.C. was shut down. It just seemed so unreal that this could happen, and that so many of us were affected personally as well as a country.
And my recollection of 9/11 was total shock. Waking up in the morning and my husband had the TV on and it was being broadcast, and it just takes your breath away. It just was something that you never thought would ever happen here. That's it.
What were you feeling?
Very sad. Very sad. Hard to imagine such a thing happening.
What did you do?